All my needs are met. All is well. I am whole and healthy. All is well. The presence of wisdom guides me now, and all is well as I rest just for a while in the silence. And as we prepare now to end this short time of meditation, silently affirm to yourself this truth. I'm not worried about the future. I'm not disturbed by the past. I am centered in the peace and calm of my own heart, and all is well. And so now I invite you to take a deep, awakening breath and come back to this place and this time filled with gratitude and thankfulness that indeed all is well. And so it is. Amen. Is there anyone here this morning who's not interested in having your wants and wishes manifest? Anyone here this morning who's not interested in experiencing more peace and love and joy in your life? Anyone here not interested in experiencing answered prayer? Because what I want you to know this morning is that there is something called the Trinity of answered prayer. And it simply says this, that if you want to experience answered prayer, you have to do three things. You have to pray, do, and be. Pray believing, do what you are intuitively guided to do, and then be patient and wait. So this morning I want to talk about the part of the Trinity of answered prayer that is most challenging. Because human nature being what it is, for most of us, waiting isn't easy. It's not easy, even though Scripture tells us that they that wait will renew their strength. And I want to add on to that they that wait will renew their strength because you can't hurry the creative process. No matter how you push, no matter how you pace, no matter how you try and take things into your own hands and make it happen now, you can't hurry the creative process. But when you wait, you conserve and renew your strength. strength and your energy. It's not easy waiting. Now this morning, you had to wait. And on many levels. But you had to wait 20 seconds as I held back and hesitated before starting my talk. So I want you to think back on how you were feeling and what you were thinking when you had to wait just those 20 seconds before I started my talk. Maybe you were thinking, well, come on, Rev Kim, let's get going. I got things to do. Maybe you were thinking, well, gee, I hope she's okay. Hope she didn't forget her talk. But my bet is that on some level, in some way, having to wait just 20 seconds was uncomfortable for each and every one of us. Because waiting isn't easy. It isn't easy standing around, sitting around, waiting. Not at all. And waiting isn't easy because it requires something that most of us can use a little bit more of. You guessed it, and that's patience. Scripture tells us patience is a virtue. It's a fruit of the Spirit. It tells us that patience is more important than fame or fortune. And I know some of you are thinking, oh, really? Maybe I'd like to try a little bit of that fame and fortune, and I'll let you know how it turns out. But what we know is that every faith tradition in its own way teaches the importance of patience. And why? Because you can't hurry the creative process. Because when you wait, you renew and you conserve your strength and your energy. And because patience and waiting go hand in hand, and they form a very important part of that trinity of answered prayer. It simply says, you got to pray, believe. Do what you are intuitively guided to do. And then wait. Now I want to ask you a question this morning. How many of you here this morning like going out to dinner once in a while? Okay, I think it's kind of an American way of life. So I want to invite you this morning to imagine. And if your best way to imagine is with your eyes closed, feel comfortable to do that. If you want to leave them open and just think about this, do that as well. But imagine that there is a new restaurant that has opened up in your neighborhood, and everybody has told you that the food is fabulous. And so you decide to go there for dinner. And there you are, sitting at the table, covered with a white linen tablecloth, beautiful candle in the middle of the table, and the aromas coming from the kitchen. Yum, yum. And then a waiter comes over to your table. He hands you the menu. You open it and you look at the menu and you get excited because there are all of your favorites. How will you ever decide which one to have? But you do. And you give your order to the waiter, and the waiter disappears into the kitchen. And so you sit there, making yourself comfortable. And you look around, and you're just taking in this beautiful restaurant. You take a deep breath. You relax. And then you get up and leave before your food comes, right? Right? Isn't that the way it goes? No! You wouldn't think of doing that. And yet we are tempted to do that very thing when the thing for which we are praying does not manifest quickly enough. Because waiting isn't easy. And we live in a time and we live in a society that supports our impatience. I mean, think about it. Have you heard about this McDonald's restaurant on the East Coast that promises lunch in 90 seconds or your money back? That's what I call supporting us in our impatience. Research has shown, the people that build high-rise apartment buildings and office complex do all this research. And what they have found is that the average person is only willing to wait 15 seconds for an elevator. 15 seconds. And after that, we're pacing. We're pushing that button as if that's going to make it come faster. Or we look around and we head for the stairs. And there's a lot of talk these days about the mail. Is it going to be delivered on Saturdays or not? We know. We know that if we want mail or a package delivered almost anywhere in this country and in most places around the world, we can have it delivered when? Overnight or the same day in some cases. Our supersonic jets fly so fast that we can have breakfast in Phoenix, we can have tea with the Queen in London, and fly back and have dinner again in Phoenix. And our internet service just keeps getting faster and faster and faster. No wonder waiting isn't easy. No wonder we wish and want our prayers to manifest at the speed of our internet. Faster and faster and faster. But we know, as Unity people, as New Thought people, we know that our prayers will manifest in the right time, in the right place, in the right way, by right of consciousness and according to our willingness to step into the Trinity of answered prayer. And pray believing. Do what we are intuitively guided to do, and then wait. But the question is, how are we to wait? Are we to wait with hearts and minds filled with anxiety, worry, and fear, and doubt? No. Productive waiting, creative waiting, means waiting expectantly, waiting confidently, and waiting peacefully. So let's talk a little bit about what it means to wait expectantly. Waiting expectantly means that if you are praying for a pony, expect a pony. And go out and buy a saddle, even before the prayer manifests. That's waiting expectantly. Waiting expectantly means that if you are praying for prosperity, go out and buy a bigger purse or a bigger wallet or open up a second checking account just to catch the overflow. Even before that prayer has manifested. Waiting expectantly means that if you are praying for a new love to come into your life, set the table for two. That's right. Set the table for two. That's what Della Reese did. How many people remember Della Reese, touched by an angel? Yeah. She tells the true story of how she was praying for a new love to come into her life. How she did everything she was intuitively guided to do. And then she waited expectantly in the form of getting up every morning and setting her breakfast table for two. She would put a beautiful tablecloth out. She made sure that there were always fresh flowers on the table. She put out her best dishes and silverware. And she did that morning after morning. And then one morning, there she was, sitting across the breakfast table, looking lovingly into the eyes of her brand new husband. My friends, if you want to experience manifested prayer, you have to be willing to wait. But wait expectantly and wait confidently. Now we've had a lot of interaction this morning, so I know you're up to it. So this is the interactive part of this talk. Now when I raise my hand, I want you to say, how do you know?
How do you know?
Great, all right, we're ready now. Here we go.
How do you know?
You know that you are waiting confidently when even before your prayer manifests, you are grateful and giving thanks for it.
How do you know?
You know you are waiting confidently when you stop worrying about the when and the where and the how your prayer will manifest. And right where you are, you count your blessings, great and small.
How do you know?
You know that you are waiting confidently when you let go of anxiety, worry, and doubt, and you trust, because you know that waiting is just part of the process, and that no matter who you are, you have to wait. Even Oprah has to wait. Seriously, Oprah tells the best story about waiting. And the story goes that in 1985, Oprah was auditioning for a movie. And the movie was based upon a very popular novel. You see, she read that novel. We all know she loves to read. She read that novel and then she prayed. She prayed that if ever that novel were to be made into a movie, she wanted an opportunity to audition and be part of that movie. And here she was auditioning. She gave it her best shot. And then she waited. She waited day after day. She waited week after week. And nothing. So she got on the phone and called that casting director to find out what was going on. And the casting director told her, don't call us, we'll call you. And so if you've ever wondered what it feels like to be Oprah, I think many of us know. In this case, in this particular situation, I think many of us know. Because we know what it's like to pray for our heart's desire, to do all that we know to do, all that we're guided to do, and then be in that place of waiting. Are you in that place of waiting right now?
Yes.
Well, maybe you've prayed for a healing for yourself or someone else, and now you're waiting. Or maybe you've prayed for a financial turnaround, for a financial increase, and now you're waiting. Maybe you prayed for a new love to come into your life, and now you're waiting. I'm hearing that some of you are in that place of waiting right now. That place where every minute feels like an hour, every hour feels like a day, and every day feels like forever. And if you've ever been in that place of waiting, if you are in that place of waiting right now, then you know what Oprah was feeling. When the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, and still nothing from Hollywood. And Oprah began to feel anxiety and worry. And she began to doubt that her dream would ever be realized. Have you ever been there? And so according to Oprah, just when she was about ready to give up, she prayed. She prayed, and the lyrics of an old song came on. A song from way back in her childhood. And these are the lyrics. I surrender all. I surrender all. All to you, blessed Spirit, I surrender all. You see, the message is clear. She needed to let go. She needed to allow. She needed to wait. Peacefully wait. And my friends, that's just what she did. She stopped worrying about the when and the where and the how and the if. She let that all go. And every time that anxiety, worry, or fear, or doubt would creep back into her consciousness, she would hum or sing the lyrics to that song. I surrender all. I surrender all. All to you, blessed Spirit. I surrender it all. And then one day when Hollywood was the furthest thing from her mind, she was out one evening and she was walking and she was just enjoying a beautiful evening, humming and singing that song. And that's when Hollywood called her. And they told her she had the part. And the part was the part of Sophia. And as some of you have figured out by now, the movie was The Color Purple. The very movie, the very part for which she received an Academy Award nomination. My friends, I love this story. And I love this story not only because it's true, but because it demonstrates the power of waiting peacefully. I love this story because it so beautifully demonstrates that waiting is just part of the process. And it also demonstrates that even Oprah has to wait. So if you are in that place of waiting this morning, I have a scripture for you. And I invite you to embrace and remember the wisdom of these words. Things may not happen right away, but slowly, steadily, surely, the time approaches when your vision will be fulfilled. If it's slow, do not despair. Just be patient. For the fulfillment will not be overdue, not by a single day, for God's timing is always perfect. God's timing is always perfect. And in unity, we interpret that to mean that yes, your wants and your wishes and your prayers will manifest, but they will manifest in the right time, in the right place, in the right way, and by right of consciousness. So, if this morning, if you are interested in having your wants and wishes manifest, if you are interested in experiencing more peace and love and joy in your life, if you are interested in experiencing answered prayer, if you are interested in having your dreams realized, don't run, walk. Don't pace, pause. And let nothing disturb the calm and peace of your soul. Simply step into and activate the Trinity of answered prayer. And pray believing. Do what you are intuitively guided to do. And then wait. But wait expectantly and wait confidently and wait peacefully. And so it is. Amen.